This is the Autoslide kit and it comes in a box of this size. I've taken all the contents out of the box and I'll go through them with you now. Here is the Velcro tester to test the door friction, moving on the door handle to make sure that the door is running freely. So before installation takes place of the Autoslide. What we have is the Autoslide drive system. It comes in either white or black, and the cover just comes off, so clips off, and inside is the drive system, the motor and the electronic board and control system. Now we've also developed a universal mounting bracket for the US market, so depending on the installation, this bracket can be mounted either like so or underside, depending on what type of fixing it's going to be fixed to into that application. So it has adjustments of moving in, out and height wise. So this has been developed and it will come with each kit for applications for the US market. We have the cover, as I've explained before, the two racks that equal to a 1 metre, which is an imperial 36 inches. We have the two wireless remote push buttons which have double-sided tape on both sides, and they're just basically mounted on both sides of the opening, and they're already pre-programmed into the receiver of the main controller system. Then we have the end caps which are mounted on both ends of the racking system. Just various fixings for attaching the Autoslide to your door system. And a power pack, a 15 volt DC power supply that plugs into your outlet. Alright, step one, installing the auto drive system to the existing patio door. Making sure the door is fully in the closed position. We then mount the drive system directly above the door. As you can see, I'm now going to allow the gear itself on the motor to lap over the door. So when I mount my rack system, it will still be in place when the door is in the fully closed position. Now that I know that is the position, I'm ready just to secure this system virtually with a couple of screws fixings. Okay, one screw there. Okay, and one more fixing in the middle, and that's the fixing of the auto drive system. Part 2, assembling the rack system and also installing it. Okay, firstly it comes with two racks, as you can see, and two end covers to be mounted at both ends of the rack system. So I'll just basically show you how this sits on. You can see they just simply clip in there. And the other one to the opposite end. Now, to join the two racks, it slips in like so, and it's a dovetail joint, and it just locks in, as you can see, like that. Okay, the next step is to mount it up against the door itself and mark where it has to be cut down. Okay, part 3. I've got the rack assembled, and we're going to install it. Now, making sure the door is in the fully closed position, we then mount the racking system up against the door. Now, I have it hard against here, where it's locking into the, butting into the door jamb, and then I'll just mark the back of the edge of the door, and that's where I will then count 3 teeth back from there to allow for the thickness of the end cover when I put it on. And that will... Okay, now I'm just about to cut the rack to the correct size, but as I said previous, I have to count back 3 teeth. So there's 1, 2, 3. So this area here will be where I will cut the rack to the correct size. By just using a hacksaw, it's a matter of just cutting. Okay, I've cut the rack to the correct size, and it's a matter of just slipping the other end cap on, like so. Part 4, installing the rack. I've got the door in the fully closed position, and the rack has been cut to the correct width to attach to the door. It's a matter then sitting it up and sitting it directly flush with the back of the door, the end cap, and sitting the rack locked into the teeth of the pulley, and then using the fixings supplied. Okay, then we move the rack to the next fixing point, making sure when we do fix it, it's still locked into the gear together. Okay, we then move the door, and again making sure that the rack is still firm under the pulley. Fix the final fixing. Again, holding it in there and securing in. Okay, the final fixing for the rack has been completed. It's a matter of now moving the door back and forwards and making sure it runs nice and freely and still engaging in the teeth from one end to the other end, which it is, as you can see. Once that's done, it's applied with a power pack, a 15-volt power pack. Now I've just run this wire through some wiring covering to make it neater. And plugging it here. Okay, fits nice and flush there. Plugged into an outlet. Turning the power on. Making sure the door is unlocked, and then having a small switch on the side here. Turning it on. And it will then go through its learn process. Opening and closing. Okay, it's now learnt, so I can test it out by just pressing one of these test buttons here. You can see, and I have the adjustment here for how long I'd like the door to stay open or to close. There's a simple adjustment here, so I can automatically open and close straight away, or you can have a time lapse up to 60 seconds. The next thing is just mounting, which I've already done, but these already the wireless push buttons mounted on both sides of the opening. They're by double-sided tape, and it's a matter of just mounting to where the customer would like to make them. I've already done this one. It's a matter of just pressing the door, automatically opens, it'll time out for a short time, and then close. It also has a safety function. If it hits an object, it automatically reverses on a small pressure. Okay, the door is operating, opening, closing, seems to run quite well. It's a matter of just clipping the cover back on, which sits just here, it sits there and there, and clips on. Now we have the modes here where there's a small protrusion button here. It's in auto mode at the moment, which will mean it works off push button or pull assist. Then you have hold open, which the door will just stay open and remain open to allow a breeze or just moving furniture in and out and so on. You then have the red, which is standby, and it becomes back to a manual sliding door. As you can see, there's no friction involved. It's pretty much the same as if you didn't even have an auto slide fitted. And then if you do take up the option of pet sensors, it will be in pet mode, which means if you buy additional pet sensors, instead of buying a pet door, you can have the pet sensors and the door will open to whatever width your pet requires.